All you got to do is look at the record and look at the big plays and the production. That's all that counts in this game. I just keep shooting it and see what happens.
Now tonight, Mike Holmgren, the man who coached Favre and the Packers to a Super Bowl title, brings his Seattle Seahawks to Lambeau Field in Green Bay to face the Packers. An emotion-charged evening just ahead on ABC's Monday Night Football. It is a scene like no other in the National Football League. Lambeau Field in Green Bay and a touch of winter. Temperature in the 40s and a brisk wind. Sold out at Lambeau as the Packers take on the Seattle Seahawks. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. Every Packer fan circled this date when the calendar came out, when they looked at the schedule, because it meant Mike Holmgren comes home. He coached here for 7 years. He took the Packers to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. That was the scene just a couple of minutes ago when Mike walked out onto the field. So there will be a tremendous amount of emotion in this stadium tonight, and a lot of respect and admiration and even love as Holmgren and Favre got together tonight. First time they've seen each other in months. Lambeau Field in Green Bay, and with the man of the moment right now is Leslie Visser. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Alan Boomer. It was a very warm reception. Most of the signs said thanks for the memories. But, Mike, so much has been written, so much has been said. What was your emotion as you came out here right before kickoff?
Well, it's very special and in some ways rather difficult. Those guys across the field meant a lot to me for 7 years, and now I'm on the other side. And these guys on this side mean a lot to me, so I'm glad we can finally play the football game.
Well, no one knows Brett Favre better than you do. What have you told your defense on how to attack him?
Well, we're just going to try and mix things up and try and pressure him. If he gets a beat on you and can kind of figure out what you're doing on a play-by-play basis, then it's awfully hard. So we're just going to try and mix it up.
Well, everyone's looking forward to it. Thank you, Mike. Al, we're going to get to see the Northwest Coast offense.
Yes, we are.
Very good.
With a northwesterly wind too, Boomer, because we were down on the field and the wind has picked up, a front moving through, and it is swirling and it is cold.
It really is. And out watching the guys kicking the ball, the punters and the field goal kickers, going the way that the Seattle Seahawks are kicking now, and I'm wondering why they're going this way. Peterson right there was having trouble making 30-yard field goals into the wind.
Both special teams coaches talking about the problems that the snappers and the holders will have tonight, as well as the kickers. So Green Bay will get the ball. Peterson's kick is fielded at the 6-yard line by Desmond Howard. And Desmond Howard almost breaks it, brings it out to the 38-yard line. He's had a tough season running back kicks. In fact, he's been on the cusp of losing his job as the kickoff returner, and brings this one back to the 37-yard line after the opening day disaster in Seattle, losing to Detroit. 3rd down and 10. Favre hanging in. Secondary does its job, and Brett tries to stiff arm Sinclair, and Michael takes him out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and it's 3 and out for Green Bay. Sean Springs with the coverage. Green Bay to punt. Louis Aguiar. Any fair catch is called for, and because of the wind, it is dropped. It is dropped at the 21-yard line, and Green Bay has it. Charlie Rogers. We mentioned before that he made a very late call for a fair catch on the first punt, and right here he made a very late call again, and with that wind whistling and the ball wobbling, he couldn't handle it, and Green Bay gets a huge break.
We saw it on Brett Favre's pass to Tyrone Davis, and right here the same thing happens where the nose of the football catches the wind and it comes down, and you have to be real careful in this game. And what coaches will tell punt returners and kickoff returners and people like that, make sure that you can catch the football. This is what happens when you have rookies on the field. They get excited, and he was struggling in warm-ups watching him.
Jim Nelson, number 57, recovers, and there's a look at that front blowing through eastern Wisconsin tonight. But it's a dry front, no precipitation expected. First down, Green Bay at the 20. Brett over the middle, and it is picked off by Sean Springs. Sean Springs, who went to the Pro Bowl last year, showing you part of the reason as he got position on Antonio Freeman and picks it off in the end zone to give Seattle the ball back at just about the same spot they would have had it had the fair catch been made.
Not only did Shawn Springs make a nice play right here, Antonio Freeman was double covered. Brett Favre should have never thrown that ball, obviously, to that receiver.
You know, if nothing else, Brett has a great sense of theater, Boomer, because, I mean, how would he set up those great fourth-quarter comebacks if he didn't screw up early in the game?
You're kind of right. But he has that mentality that every quarterback should possess, and that's the ability to forget the last bad play.
And here's Henderson. He forgot the last bad play there, and Henderson is able to pick up the first down as he gets past the 46-yard line and moves to the 48. First down for Green Bay. And we talked to Mike Holmgren yesterday about any advantage that he might have coming into this game, knowing the Green Bay Packers so well.
I think it helps. I really do. I've spent more time with the defensive guys this week than I normally do because I think I know the offensive players pretty well. I think of their advantages. Probably both teams are looking at that they have an advantage. I think those guys think they know me pretty well. And they don't know our players as well as we know their players. That gives me a little edge, I hope.
Well, Dorsey Levens is a guy Mike knows very well, and Levens that time breaks one for 15 yards before he's tackled by Kerry Joseph. And it is blocked, and it's picked up by Shawn Springs, who's been all over the joint tonight. And Shawn Springs doing a Dion imitation. Touchdown.
We talked about returns for touchdowns. This is a defensive team that has all kinds of players that can make plays just like this. And now we see a flag at the end.
Down at the goal line, maybe for an excessive celebration.
No, you're going to have a call against number 11, Matt Hasselbeck, for his pushing of Shawn Springs at the back of the end zone. It's going to be a personal foul.
That's 20 return touchdowns. That one's 61 yards, and Peterson's extra point is good. So a 50-yard field goal turns into a Seattle touchdown. 4:45 left in the quarter, and the Seahawks take a 7-0 lead at Lambeau.
Watching what happened to Jamal Henderson, I can't say that it's not hard to understand where he's coming from.
Here is Favre, and Favre loses the football, and it is a live ball, and Seattle has it. They're going to rule it a fumble. Favre not trying to throw it, losing the football, and Matt Labonte recovers it. If he's trying to throw it and the arm is coming forward, that's one thing, but here he loses the football, puts up a mild beat, but it is a fumble and a recovery by Seattle.
See, that ball actually came back out of his hand. Balls on nights like tonight, we've seen it already. We've talked about it. The balls are slippery. They're slick. And right here, he's just trying to get a defender to stop pursuing him.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and he's trying to pull the old, you know, hey, let me just fake it out, and then I'll take it out to the sideline.
Exactly, because there was nobody downfield. When we looked downfield, there was no intended receiver, nobody even close. And now he takes over at his own 10-yard line on first down. Fake toss, and then floats one, and it floated almost into the arms of Springs again for another interception. Incomplete.
Al, I think the key word of that last description was occasionally, and you know, you just hope that it doesn't carry over, but he's amazing. And I go back to the thing that when Mike Holmgren left, and there's Shawn Springs right there, their talent, he had 7 picks last year, and he's certainly a playmaker from Ohio State, but you could see right here, he's not afraid to throw the ball. And most quarterbacks in the league would be sitting on the sideline right now after a few plays like this. But remember, Mike Holmgren's not on the sideline of the Green Bay Packers any longer. You wonder who's keeping their foot on Brett.
Second down and 10. Favre has that one tipped and knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and Brett has begun the game against his old coach. 5 of his first 14 for 41 yards. Third down and 10. Favre's pass here caught by Schrader. They get Bill into the act,
and he fumbles.
Bill loses the football at the 20-yard line. That is the 5th fumble of the game, but this one is retained by Green Bay. Still, they will be short of the first down.
I think it's inappropriate or not, the fact of the matter is NFL contracts are not guaranteed.
Second and 11, and that's caught by Corey Bradford. And Corey Bradford got into the seam and goes all the way for the touchdown.
to do, Al, is look at the pursuit of Jay Bellamy, the safety. He went for the interception, and instead of going for the receiver, and Brett Favre rifles it in there, I don't think Jay Bellamy has ever seen a ball thrown that hard. And he knows right there, Jay Bellamy, number 20, that he took the wrong pursuit angle. Here he comes. He's trying to go for it, and he can't make it. He cannot make the play. And number 27, Willie Williams, falls down, and Bradford's off and running.
74 yards. Favre to Bradford, and Longwell's extra point is good.
Do you see it all with Brett Favre?
74-yard strike. Plugging through the middle goes Reggie Brown, the fullback, and then the ball comes loose. There's no whistle. This is Tyrone Williams with the football.
And finally, somebody decided to just sit on it.
And it winds up in the arms of Bernardo Harris.
Bernardo, the savvy veteran he is, just sat on the ball.
Vaughn Booker created the fumble.
Ball was fumbled, recovered by Green Bay. First down.
Give Booker the credit for it, as he was able to dislodge the football, and Harris winds up with it.
You know, the interesting thing, Al, when you watch the replay, you'll see the Seattle Seahawks players just stop. And you'll see right here, it looks, you know, everybody's kind of stopping right here. You can see they're coming out of the pile, and then they realize that there's a fumble. And I don't know what Williams is doing right here. Just put the ball away. You're not Deion Sanders,
right,
my friend.
He always seems to.
Here's another
looking to lateral it, and then Levens fumbles the football. And Seattle has it.
Oh,
It's the weather.
You think so?
Or fate. I don't know what it is.
It's Halloween is what it is.
It's post-Halloween. It's that post-Halloween syndrome. There's a flag down. Darren Smith came up with the football for Seattle. Ron Blum to give us the call. This will be a personal foul against Seattle.
After, I believe, after the play.
Fumble was recovered by Seattle after the play was over. Unnecessary roughness, number 70, Seattle, 15 yards, first and 10.
Michael Sinclair gets in an added shot. That costs him 15, but Seattle will retain possession back on their side of the 50, however.
Those defenders in this league are all trying to rip the football out too, Al. That's one of the reasons that tackling isn't as good as it used to be. Jay Bellamy atones for his mistake on the previous series of downs for the Seattle defense and rips the ball out of Dorsey Levin's hands. Never ran out of bounds, always took on the tacklers and inspired his teammates, and it's a great loss.
Third down and 10, and that is caught by Ricky Waters. Ricky had to reach down. The ball looked like it was about to come loose, and he's able to grasp it and pick up the first down. There's a flag. Kittner throws, that is caught by Derek Mays, and Mays takes that to the 10-yard line, and that's a first down.
Now, you talked about John Kittner and the fact that he's only thrown 2 interceptions. He's careful in the red zone. Mike Holmgren loves to throw down in here. That's one of the reasons that Brett Favre, for all those years, had so many touchdowns. As opposed to, say, like the Dallas Cowboys, when they get down into this area, they want to give it to Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. His statistics kind of suffer from that. Well, it's the opposite. When you're down in here, Mike Holmgren loves to throw the football and throw touchdown passes. And I think Kittner will be the one that will be the beneficiary of that in the years to come.
First and goal from the 10, so right to the air he will go. Pump fake to the back of the end zone, and it is juggled and caught by Mays.
What a
Derek
catch.
Mays, is he going to do a Lambeau leap? Not quite. Well, Mays had done a few Lambeau leaps before, and even Kittner says, hey, come on, just enjoy the moment. And actually, Holmgren was telling us last night he didn't want any funny stuff from Derek Mays.
Well, I think he forgot for a moment who he was playing for, but what a terrific catch, and what a great job by John Kittner, not going to his first receiver, who was the tight end, coming underneath and throwing it to Derek Mays as his secondary receiver. We talked about how Mike Holmgren loves to throw.
Kicks away, gentlemen, kicks away, gentlemen.
Todd Peterson for the point after, and so that has silenced the stunned Lambeau crowd as Mays makes the catch.
You can see Mays is actually the second or third receiver out. The tight end underneath, they were trying to sneak him out. But Kitna sees that his tight end is not open, and he hits Mays.
On a night when every other ball is being dropped.
Here's your tight end. He's going to go down, and he's going to go across, and he's going to be covered by this linebacker. Mays, the second receiver, is going to come into the back of the end zone, and Kitna does a real nice job of just being patient, poised, and looking over the field. And there goes the tight end. He sees that he's covered, and then comes back to his second receiver. And then take a look at this at the end. You talked about Mike Holmgren telling Derek Mays, don't be stupid, don't do anything. Look at this.
Couldn't help himself.
Yeah, well.
First down from the 17, and Favre gets sacked. That's Cortez Kennedy on top of him. And that's 306 pounds on top of you.
Or more pounds than that, Al, I think.
Yeah. Just ask Brett.
For all linebackers across the country, the way he plays football.
In fact, has a meal, has a sandwich at halftime. Third down and 13. And this is Dorsey Levens, and a flag comes in at the end of that play.
And that's going to be a late hit on Sam Adams.
Holmgren might be ready for a Samuel Adams after this.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 98 defense. Forearm to the helmet. 15 yards. First down.
That's as bad a penalty as you can take. I mean, instead of a punt and good field position, look at this.
You see that he's clearly down, and well, it probably looked worse than it actually was.
Third down and 1 from the 39-yard line. And this is Levens again, escaping a tackle in the backfield and out to the 48-yard line. Third down and 11 now for the Packers up at the 46-yard line. Favre, after buying time, hits Schrader, and he takes it to the 42-yard line.
There were no touchdown passes.
Couldn't figure out who to put in at quarterback half the time. Third down and 15. There's a little dump off to Levens. Levens out of the backfield, and Levens turns what would have been no gain into a big gain, and a very close to a first down. They'll spot it at the 32-yard line. And so far from the gun on fourth down. Favre throwing, and it's picked off at the 3-yard line. That's Willie Williams, who brings it back to the 5. In effect, the same as a punt.
I mean, not a bad play. You're trying to make a play down the field, and you're right, it's just like a punt. But unlike a punt, at least you have a chance to try to make a play on it.
And with 34 seconds left, Seattle will take over deep in its own territory.
Look at the wind. Look at the wind take that football just out to the left and just holds it up, and Williams goes up and snatches it. I don't really have any problem with that particular play right there by Brett Favre.
From the 37-yard line, Kitna throws, and that is incomplete. Intended for, and a flag comes in, intended for Mays, and Tyrone Williams with the coverage.
You're not going to believe this, but on the sideline, Al, number 63, Frank Beatty, the backup center for the Seattle Seahawks, was screaming at the officials to throw the flag. Now, I don't necessarily know that he caused the flag to be thrown, but he was very adamant on the sideline, and there he is.
Pass interference, 37 defense. First down, Seattle.
And look, he's taking, yeah, well, I got it. I made that guy throw the flag. I know. Mike Holmgren saw a lot of this last year against the Minnesota Vikings here on Monday night with Randy Moss.
He did turn to look for the ball.
Right, exactly, and that's exactly what we saw last year, that they did not turn around and look for the ball at defensive backs, so much so that they got rid of half of them and brought in 3 new guys.
21-yard penalty. Getting the throws, that's caught. This is Mike Pritchard making the catch at the 31-yard line.
Someday I'm going to be watching you, kid, and I'm sure John's watching him tonight.
On first and 10, Waters, nice slip move and takes it down to the 20-yard line for a first down. Got by Darren Sharper.
Abandons the running game to see if he can get John Kitten a touchdown pass.
Waters to the outside, inside the 10, and Ricky diving for the end zone, but but comes up just a little bit short. Still doesn't have his first touchdown of the season.
And you can see he's frustrated by it, and I know that he's going to want the ball right now.
No question.
Because certainly he has carried the load at the beginning of the second half. And just you could see Jones, number 71, taking on Vonnie Holiday at the point of attack. And that's right where Brian Williams was prior to his injury. You got to believe that Mike Holmgren is going to want to give the ball to Ricky Waters here, don't you think?
In his career, in 3 figures there, 102.4 yards per game.
That's pretty heavy-duty company right there, Al.
Tonight, 98 yards rushing alone. Still seeking his first touchdown of the year. This time it's a little fade, and it is caught. A flag is thrown. Sean Dawkins comes down with it. The coverage on the play by Mike McKenzie. And they discuss it in the end zone, and the call goes against the Green Bay Packers. It'll be a touchdown for Seattle.
If you don't in turn look for the ball.
34 defense. Penalties declined. It's a touchdown.
You're going to be flagged. And again, remember, Al, last year we were here. Mike Holmgren saw this time and again with the Minnesota Vikings, and they take advantage of it again. Just throw it up and let your receiver adjust to it. And the defender has to turn around and look for the football if he does not want to be penalized. Nice catch by his left hand.
Yeah, one-handed, 3rd touchdown reception of the season. The crowd is silent again. Peterson's extra point is good. 9 fumbles tonight. 4 of them lost, 2 by each team, and they begin by sending Levens right through the middle up to the 27-yard line.
We have Brett Favre as quarterback.
Levens again breaks a tackle. Dorsey looking very sharp in this series, and that's a first down up to the 46-yard line. Tackled there by Sean Springs. And then the Buccaneers, I mean, what was that, a minute 5? Here's Favre throwing again, and that is somehow caught by Schrader.
And Willie Williams will be called for interference, but what a tremendous
unbelievable
catch. But right here, this is the correct call. The back judge does a nice job of coming in and make that apparent immediately. Close, though.
Yeah. 17-yard penalty. Green Bay at the Seattle 37-yard line. Back to Levens. Probing that middle. That's Basil Mitchell, actually, as Levens gets a break. And then you've got a little altercation with Dotson getting into it with Joseph and Brown, precipitating a flag. Chad Brown, a few more words for Dotson.
I'll tell you, Dotson's he's going to go 40 yards back now, Al.
Yep.
You know, and there's another one. When the official throws the hat like that, that's another one.
Yep, every flag in the joint's been thrown.
So now you have 3 penalties on one player right here.
You had one initially, and then you had the second altercation broke out.
You know, it's mind-boggling to me sometimes why players just absolutely totally lose their focus. I can understand it maybe if somebody's going after your knee or something like that. But you could see right here Chad Brown antagonizing Dotson, and then Dotson
2
trying to be...
personal fouls, separate incidents, both on number 72, offense. He's disqualified.
He's thrown out.
30 yards enforced against Green Bay.
So you've got 30 yards worth of penalties on a drive that's very critical, down by 14 points, and you just lost your starting right tackle. Right here on ABC. Packed now at the 47-yard line. This drive starts with Dorsey Levens. You can see 35-yard line.
Now you can see the Packers, their whole demeanor has just picked up. Something happened on the sideline in between that last series where the defense came out, stopped the offense of the Seattle Seahawks, and now all of a sudden you could see the giddy up in Dorsey Levens, and just watch this run. You could just sense the momentum now back on the side of the Green Bay Packers.
Second down and 8 at the 33-yard line. Levens again, big hole, cuts it back, and Dorsey Levens takes it inside the 20, first down at the 18-yard line behind a Ross Verba block. Basil Mitchell now in the game. The back up to Levens, second down and 11. Favre under pressure, escaping. He'll run with it and slides to a halt, sort of awkwardly at the 9-yard line. Lost his balance on this new grass here. Michael Sinclair stops him.
And how good was the North Carolina defense in college? I mean, we're seeing defensive linemen and linebackers all over the NFL from that North Carolina team.
3rd down and goal. Favre, good protection. Now it finally breaks down, loses the football, picked up by Sinclair.
Just give it to
And it's Henderson who takes Sinclair down at the 35-yard line. It's Cortez Kennedy who has missed a couple of tackles tonight that have been costly for Seattle, and all of a sudden when they had to have the big play, he comes up with it.
Al, we talked about how opportunistic this defense is. They make plays, they force fumbles, they have interceptions. Boy, you talk about a big play at the right time. Cortez Kennedy makes it right here.
Green Bay's drive flames out. He can't look at you and lie to you. 3rd down and 11 with the ball on the 6-yard line. And Favre's pass is intercepted again. Sean Springs. What a tremendous night for Springs with 2 interceptions and the blocked field goal run back for a touchdown. And Ron Wolf hasn't seen many nights like this, the Packer GM in Green Bay.
Well, I think you got to go back to the drawing board and you have to go revisit your fundamentals. Now, certainly Brett is playing with an injured hand. He's also trying to do obviously too much. And you have to revisit the fundamentals. Standing back in the pocket, reading. He's looking left, trying to come back right, trying to look guys off. Freeman falls down on him. But you have to be careful. You just can't be careless when you're throwing the football down the field, especially against this defense of the Seattle Seahawks. That was a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
20-yard attempt. That's a nice hold that time. Jeff Beagles had to reach for it and put it down. Peterson puts it through, and Holmgren tells Green Bay, you're going to have to score 3 times to beat me.
They're going to try to confuse Brett continually with the different type of blitzes that he'll be seeing.
2nd down and 10. Favre, and that one is intercepted by Merton Hanks at the 21-yard line, and he gets dragged down at the 16. 7 turnovers. Cortez Kennedy forcing the issue, got into the backfield, and the longtime 49er, a salary cap casualty more than anything else when he left San Francisco this summer, winds up with Holmgren in Seattle and picks one off here.
Interceptions happen for a reason. Brett knows that Cortez Kennedy is breathing down. Merton Hanks is in the right spot. Again, what can you say? He's having an off night. Now, this offense for the Packers really has not been on all cylinders at all this season.
29-yard attempt for Peterson is good.
It's been kind of floundering, and interceptions, turnovers, no running game. And certainly, you look at the scoreboard, you can see what happened.
7 turnovers tonight for Green Bay. 2nd down and 5 is Hasselbeck. Gets pressured and gets sacked back at the 45, and that's Cortez Kennedy enjoying a big night.
Well, you know, maybe he's the defensive player of the week, or maybe they're co-defensive players of the week. He seems like he's been all over the field tonight.
As Mike Holmgren brings his team in to face his old team, they force 7 turnovers and win the game by a score of 27-7. And for Green Bay, something about under the lights. That's 4 consecutive Monday Night Football losses for the Green Bay Packers. All 3 last year, and this one here tonight.
Al, that's a sick feeling for Brett Favre right now, walking off this field, and it's utter disappointment, it's embarrassment. Knowing him, he'll have to pull all his resources back and be resilient once again to get back on top in this league.